We're with Brad Barden and Jose. I got your name wrong.
Jose Manuel
Jose Manuel
Blanco.
And so we're with La Galera. So your brand, I've loved it for years since it came out at Lake Country Cigars specifically. I know a little bit about your story and about your family, but take us back to the beginning of how you guys got into the cigar industry and how you ended up with La Galera.
So I'm actually a fifth generation tobacco grower and a third generation cigar manufacturer. So my family's been in the business for plenty of time. We're also a completely vertically integrated company, so we have control from the seed to the retailer. We have our own farms, we have our own packing, we have our own distribution, which helps us time the product better and just cut costs.
Right.
Which is basically the idea behind La Galera, a cigar that it's for everyone, not for the elite, it's a cigar for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you've grown up in the factory.
Yeah.
Since you were a kid. What was that experience like?
I loved it. I was always kind of the hyperactive kid growing up.
Right.
So my father, when he told us on Friday nights that we were gonna go to the farm on Saturday or on Sunday, I was up 6 a.m. waking him up. You said we were gonna go to the farm. You said we were gonna go farm, and I'd be out there just looking at what the workers were doing, asking a lot of questions. I was always that kid asking, why is that like that? And why is he doing this different? Why is it? So I was just always curious, always trying to learn. And then as I got older, on my summers, I started working in the factory. Again, I started learning. My cousins used to come down from Santo Domingo, the capital, also worked there. After we were done, my father stayed in the office. We'd play hide and seek between the raw material warehouse, between the trojas and all the bales. So I just grew up in it, and I really did love it.
Was that something you wanted to dive into from when you were a kid? Like, did you see yourself working in this as an adult?
Yeah,
or was it just...
Back then, I never really thought about it. It was just my summers. I worked there because that's my father's company. Never really thought that ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got older, especially the summer right after I graduated high school, because, that's kind of like you got to more or less start to see what you want in life.
Right.
I worked there that summer again. But that time was a little bit different because that thought was in my head. And yeah, I never, thinking back, I never really, had trouble waking up to go to the factory or to the farm, even though maybe if I had gone to bed a little bit late, because it never really felt like work for me. I just enjoyed being there. We have 400 employees, plus 400 employees, and a lot of them, have been there for 20 plus years, 30 years. Some have even been there for 2 generations, 3 with me now. And it's just a beautiful industry because, I call them uncles and aunts because they've been there for so long. And it's a factory, but it's not industrialized, It's like there's a very big human aspect of it. And that's one of the things that I enjoy the most, that it's, it's not monotone. You work with different people, with different tobacco every day, kind of play around, joke around with them. It's not a numbers industry. You're not trying to get as much as possible. You're trying to get as best possible. The cigar industry, you can never think about the numbers or quantity. You just have to think about quality, which I feel has been kind of lost in all the industries nowadays. Right. People are just thinking, the bigger, the better, the faster, the better. And this industry kind of slows you down and reminds you that, first of all, you can't buy time. So the tobacco teaches you that. You might have a great crop, but I'm going to have to wait 4 or 5 years to use it.
Right.
It teaches you patience. Again, a human aspect. You work with a lot of people, so you don't get too full of yourself. You don't make all the decisions. You have a team, which you make the decisions with. And yes, many other variables and factors that just, from a very young age, made me fall in love with the cigar and tobacco industry.
And so your family's been in tobacco for 5 generations. Mm-hmm. When did La Galera start, and how did you come up with that brand?
So we came up with La Galera in 2015. Uh, we've been in the industry since 1936, but we did more private labels. We co-owned some other brands. But my father noticed, especially with the FDA things coming,
Hmm.
he wanted to leave a bigger legacy. Uh, and plus that, um, at that point is kind of when all the tools that we had, the farms, the factory, the distribution center, all came together. So it's just the perfect moment to have a new brand. And yeah, we made La Galera.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so you're the sales arm. What's that been like, especially with a brand that has that history that their family has?
It's definitely been my honor. I was the first in-house sales rep September of 2015, and to see the brand grow,
Right.
like he said, to be a part of something that's all about the tradition,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have the legacy in the farms, to be able to sit on tobacco, which not everyone has that opportunity. Um, to have a boss that talks about sharing his tobacco,
Right.
to go into a sales meeting and the first words are out of his mouth are, how do the people love our cigars? What do they think? And you see that passion.
Right.
To see Jose Manuel as a high schooler in talking with him at Jochy's house, and to see him and hear him say the words, I hope I can learn half
Right.
as much about what my dad knows in the tobacco business, and I know you will because of that.
You'll People like you in the industry will forget more than everybody else will ever learn. Uh, and so you're in the Midwest
Yep,
in sales.
I was
Is
the
that
first sales rep. I had the Midwest region, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, and I was able to ride with a brand owner that has his cigars made at Tabacalera, Palma, and then was able to take Wisconsin and come meet you guys at
right?
LCC and Delafield. The people aspect of this business is amazing. You know, when I waited till I was 30 to get married, and I was all my friends' go-to guy to do honeydew list and help them out.
Right.
And then when I got into cigars, uh, I needed help. I tried to cash in those IOUs. Well, they were
Yeah.
busy with kids, which I didn't understand. And who helped me? People that I'd met 3 months earlier at a cigar shop.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
what this industry is about, is sharing. I've seen millionaires and janitors arm in arm
Absolutely.
sharing cigars
It
and
creates
stuff
a
like
community
that.
that not
Yep.
many things do.
Correct.
And so the branding of La Galera, I find is interesting because when you tell people it's a relatively new brand, they're like, oh, it's just a boutique pop-up brand. But then you look at the history behind it, and then even just the artwork and just everything behind it screams tradition, but in a very organic way. And so when you introduced me to La Galera, I was thinking, okay, this is a brand that's been around for 100 years, and it fits in with them, but the quality of every cigar is the peak of the industry. Um, how has the market accepted that? Because a lot of
So,
people are wanting like new modern
hmm
branding. Just
yeah. The acceptance has been great. I mean, in the end, my father always, from a young age, taught me, quality sells, no matter what industry you're in.
yeah,
So that part, people have enjoyed it. And naturally, once the smokers, people, when they start smoking, they always have a friend that's a smoker, so they go
mm-hmm.
to them. And nowadays, people, do their own research and try to learn themselves through their phone. Uh, so that has helped the brand a lot. Back home, we always launch products first in the Dominican Republic because we want to, it's our people, our country. They're the ones that help us make it. And back home, you could say La Galera has been in the top 3 selling brands for the past 3-4 years,
yeah,
uh, in a very short time, obviously. And I mean, it's just been great. I mean, I think the timing was perfect for the launch of the brand, and there was space for a brand like us to kind of, in a way, restructure the industry, because they had turned to that cigars are, maybe for the elites, for the guy that sits in the corner with the expensive watch,
Right.
guayabera, don't talk to me, when it's actually the complete opposite. I mean, actually, La Galera, what La Galera means is the room where the cigar rollers are and the bunchers are.
Okay.
And all of our sizes mean something that you find in La Galera. So it's kind of a homage to all the people.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want La Galera to have like one face. We
Right.
want it to have many faces. Again, I have like 400 employees. And I think people are starting to understand, the newer generation too, they're becoming cigar smokers. The industry is slowly but surely growing, but at the same time changing. And I think La Galera is changing with it. And
Right.
that's why our acceptance has been great.
How does the cigar culture in the Dominican differ from here? Because in the U.S., I feel like it's often kind of it's a luxury product, and there it's a lifestyle, and the people in the area are working in the industry. What is that?
So
what is
yeah,
that
I
like
mean,
down there?
again, that's why La Galera represents the DR very well, because out here, you're smoking a cigar in a smoking area in a restaurant outside. People are gonna look at you, because most likely people are gonna be smoking cigarettes or vapes. But it's kind of like the cigar's gonna turn heads for you. Back home, you know, having a cigar is like eating a burger out here, I guess.
Yeah.
It's nothing really special. So I feel people don't smoke for to look cool,
Yeah.
or the clout, how they say. If someone's smoking, it's because they like smoking. So yeah, I mean, again, that's why La Galera represents it very well, because in the end, we don't care for people to be like sitting in the corner showing off the ring that they paid $30+ for the cigar or whatever.
Yeah.
You're getting a cigar. That, I mean, I've had customers complain of that to make it more expensive, I've had customers to raise the
They
price and they
want
start
people to
selling
make the
more.
cigars.
Yeah, because
They
people
want to pay more for them. You could say you can pay more for it.
Or
There's a
that.
sales trick.
No, but I always say, price is what you pay, value is what you get, and
Right.
the deal is the product in the end. That's why we don't really do big deals or discounting, because, again, not everybody has the tools that we have.
Yeah.
And again, instead of cutting the cost and having more margin for us and just selling it at a market price, let's say, instead of that, my father's whole idea is he literally, I mean, he's 60 and he's starting to get gray hairs now. It's because he's never really worked a day in his life. He loves what he does.
Right.
And he just wants people out there to have good cigars and to make them understand cigars are for everyone. Cigars, literally, I mean, as I said, you go back home, it's nothing special. It's like you enjoy it and you have a good time and you share with good people. That's what cigars all about.
Absolutely. It's a commitment to time.
Exactly.
Commitment to time with people is that much better.
Yep.
What are you guys most excited about with the brand? Anything coming next, or?
So we actually launched a new size for the Imperial Jade, which is our African Cameroon line. It's Chiquito Perfecto, named after the roller, or his nickname is Chiquito. He's
Okay.
worked with my father 30+ years. One of our best rollers, if not the best rollers. That's why we chose him. And also the size is a Perfecto Hemingway. So it is Chiquito, which
Right.
means small in Spanish. But besides that, I mean, we're working on some projects. But again, you can't buy time. So we just try the tobaccos every couple months, see what the tobaccos tell us. If we could do a new project, then we could do it. If not, we just gotta wait. So,
Right.
but for now, we're doing the Imperial Jade. We are working on something, but more on the long term. We're bringing in different varieties of seeds from all over the world to our farms, planting them, doing trial and error, just learning about them, to see if in the future we can actually have puros, which 100% Dominican tobacco, with all the varieties all over the world. But plants are living things; they have to adapt,
Yeah.
and they can take years and years and years. We've been planting them since I graduated high school, which was 2017. So we've been planning with them, playing with them like 5 years only. But besides that, I mean, again, it just takes time, and it's trial and error, learning about the plant. Only 1 acre per seed variety to learn, study the plant, see how much water they like, what
Sure.
UV ray intensity, what fertilizer, what diseases they're prone to. But besides that, near future, we don't have any clear product, because, as I said,
Right.
the tobacco will tell us when we
Yeah.
can.
And then, in regards to blending, and I feel like a lot of people answer this differently, or they have multiple answers depending on the product. Do you blend cigars that you want to smoke, or that you think the market will want to smoke? Like,
That I don't sell anything that I don't like. So
Right.
I think my palate's a very balanced palate, just like my father. I don't try to go to the strength side. I don't try to go
Right.
flavor. I try to do a little bit, get a little bit of everything. Partially because that's what my father taught me.
Yeah.
I mean, my first cigars were the ones he left on the ashtray and went to get something, and I started stealing, puffing a little bit. So I guess I got used to his palate, kind of taught me his way. But yeah, I mean, it's a mix of both. I mean, sometimes I feel the market's asking for something that maybe that's not what it needs. They think that's what they want,
Yeah.
but that's not what they need. Like, for example, our biggest size is a 60, which, my personal opinion, I don't smoke anything past 54, but that's just
Right.
me.
Yeah,
I
I'm
have
not
a
a big
small
ring gauge
mouth.
fan.
And people have asked us for 70s or even 80s. And instead of that, what we did it because we understood that past 60, it's not a pleasant smoke.
No.
So what we did is we launched, I think it was 2 years ago, a new size, a Coloso, which is instead of 6 by 60, it's 8 by 60.
Okay.
And then people stopped asking for the 70 because they thought that's what they wanted. They wanted a thicker cigar, but they just wanted a longer smoke. So
Right.
instead of making it bigger in girth, we just added 2 inches in length.
Right.
And people stopped asking for a 70.
That's
And
interesting.
so it's a little bit of the mix. You kind of have to read the market to then have your own educated guess. But
Right.
I mean, again, I'm a 5th generation tobacco or 3rd generation cigar manufacturer.
Yeah.
The knowledge has been passed down. So
I've loved what you guys are doing. All the blends are approachable. That probably makes your job easy.
It really does. Medium-bodied, full-flavored.
Yeah.
As Ochito said, everything's blended circular. There's a spice note. There's a sweet note for balance.
Yeah.
To be able to put down a cigar and not taste it for the next day
Yeah.
is pretty amazing.
Right.
The waterfall excitement of the brand, as far as when I became a rep, La Galera, they'd never heard of it, and now La Galera, oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. It's becoming a house
And
brand.
the
It's-
excitement, yeah. Yep. And I found if I can get it in the hands of a shop and they can hand sell it once, almost always I'm in that customer's rotation, and that's an honor.
Right.
To be part of something like that and watch the growth. So thank you for doing what you guys do in the Dominican.
well, thank you for putting it out there.
It's been exciting to see grow, but very cool. Well, thank you for doing this. We're going to do our part to share what you're doing with our audience. We've loved it. I got hooked on cigars. I can blame Brad for my obsession with La Galera now. But thank you for taking the time.
Well, thank
and
you guys.
We appreciate ATF, and we hope the best for you guys and your growth and everything. And
Thank you.
yeah, kudos to you guys.
Very cool. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.